The next thing we learned is the USDA's November 12th and January 12th reports created a record huge amount of change in our lives. And what we learned from that is that, number one, we need a marketing plan. We need to test that marketing plan so we know if we can do it, check the cash flows of that marketing plan so we know that we can pull it off, and then we need to implement that plan. And all of these changes wouldn't matter to us. I have one client out of all my client base that sold to me again. That's it. And I pushed it really hard. But they couldn't do it because the elevator wouldn't take it. The bank wouldn't let them do it. So we need to have that checked out ahead. We also learned something from the USDA report. They can change things at a stroke of a pen. And you think, as bearish as they just changed it now, they could change it just as reversely bullish in June if you guys don't like going. And what's the third thing that we've learned in the last couple of months? On December 4th, the Verisun judge made his ruling that those contracts that you might have sold through to Verisun or to an elevator who hedged up to Verisun are no longer valid. Okay, now let me tell you something about this. Verisun went broke for two reasons. One reason is that they only did half of a marketing plan. They had a risk management plan that said, buy corn. Well, what about selling the ethanol? So when you have a marketing plan and you're out buying your fertilizer needs at $1,000 per acre, did you sell a corresponding number of bushels to make that a complete marketing plan? Or are you just doing one-sided? That's one lesson from Verisun that we need to learn. The second lesson from Verisun that we need to learn is they used derivatives to do their hedging. They did not use federally regulated contracts. Okay? Now, you've done the same thing. There's guys in this room, this side, I'm sure there's one of them that's tied up in this big deal. Okay? Where you thought you had contracts sold that you don't know if you have contracts sold. Those contracts were non-federally regulated. So one of the lessons we learned here is that we should not be putting our faith into the fate of unregulated contracts. We need to learn how to use exchange-traded hedge tools. Those are all federally regulated in guarantees. If it isn't regulated by the CFTC and your broker is not an NFA CFTC registered broker, what's your guarantee? If you don't believe me, I'm going to paraphrase a farm letter that I got about a week ago. Bill, I went to your conference last year. We did what you told us to do. We bought 2 layers of puts and we scaled up the sold corn between $5 and $7. And we sold 2 years worth. He did this. He lives up in Minnesota. And he said, now my contracts are not going to be honored. He said, so thanks for the advice. But the problem is this. I bought land. What do I do? Okay. How many people have bought equipment? Where's this going to stop? I heard that there's equipment cancellations going on. Can anybody tell me if that's true? You guys hearing the same thing? Somebody else? Yeah?
We had a new combine supposed to be delivered in August. We got it 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so there's some people ahead of you that bugged out. Quite a few. Do you understand what I'm telling you here? What I'm telling you here is that the change is sitting in this room, and it's bigger than we can